Thank you very much, Amer AlGhaferi, for your time. Please, if you could tell me about this Crew-6 mission. It's a second mission for you together with NASA. What's special about it, and how was the preparation? And can you say something what was maybe interesting in comparison to the previous mission?
Well, basically, when we started back in 2017, the UAE initiated the astronaut program. And from the beginning, the main goal was to have a sustainable astronaut program where we have multiple missions, many astronaut programs, and the program will involve not only the astronauts, the training, the sciences behind these missions. So when we started back in 2017, we selected Sultan and Hazza. And Hazza did the first mission in 2019. It was an 8 days mission, and it was full of a lot of science experiments and research, and a lot of engagements with the youth and the in community in general in the UAE, and the impact was huge. This time, for a change, now we're looking at the first long duration mission in the Arab region, and the training for these kind of missions is very unique, and to be able to do that as a non-ISS partner, it's a great privilege, and we are proud of that. But it shows that space always welcomes new nations, and the UAE has the full intention to be an effective member of the global space community. And through this mission, with Sultan's mission, we are looking forward for a lot of sciences that we will be doing, as well as a big impact on the Arab region. We hope that these kind of missions bring more advancement to the research and gets more people engaged in science and technology. And that's what we're looking for.
Thank you. And there is also Roscosmos astronaut on board, and you have had some cooperation with Roscosmos. How this cooperation was sort of projected in this Crew-6, and how is it to work with Russia on space?
Well, one thing I know for sure, space is a global language. So everybody speaks space. So the work we do with JAXA, Roscosmos, ESA, NASA, CSA, and many other space-faring nations is always towards the benefit of humanity. What we have been doing in the last mission and this mission, what we noticed is the crew members are really feeling as one family. The bond between them is supporting them. It helps them work in a confined environment in the ISS. So we saw the great relationships they all have together, and definitely in space they will rely on each other. So the roles and responsibilities are clear, but still you need to trust the person next to you, and this is the feeling that they have, and we hope that we will continue all working together in space.
Thank you. Did you have any trainings in Russia? And then second question, UAE wants to position itself like sort of among these big players, right, in space. What kind of advantage do you think your country has in, for example, in comparison to the other? What, like, maybe you can bring something special, right, to the table, what the others probably can't. Is there anything you can think of?
Well, for the first question, I did not have the privilege to stay long in Russia, but the first two launches we did, well, we did it with Russia, and I spent, I think, almost 1 month in Baikonur. We enjoyed it. The environment there is very unique, and we always have great memories of working in Russia, and we will continue to do so. In terms of the UAE and the UAE goal, definitely we are not there to compete. I think every country has its unique input to international endeavors in terms of space. What we do usually is try to focus on programs that are adding value, not repetitive, as well as we do them in a relatively usually short time, and we try to make sure that the impact goes globally. We do that in all our missions, either astronaut program missions or space exploration or Earth observation missions, and we hope to continue that. I think eventually we will always talk and have dialogue always with all the international partners to know where we can add benefit and where we can add value and where we bring new knowledge to humanity. And this is what we make sure in every mission we do.
Thank you very much. If I can have last question. Okay. No. Okay, thank you so much. Last question. I read about your ambitions to, you're actually building a Mars city, if I'm not wrong, and your ambitions to make settlements on Mars. How close are we to that? Is it still according to the schedule? It's very exciting, sort of, especially the Mars city, and it's unique.
Yes, I mean, this is a very long-term strategy. We understand that there are a lot of steps to be taken. What we are focusing in these years is the robotic systems, and we are launching. We launched the first rover, which will hopefully land on the surface of the moon end of April. That's the progress so far, and we continue to build the robotic systems and rovers to go to the moon and then beyond to go to Mars. Building settlement on Mars requires a lot of international cooperation, and that's another thing we are doing is establishing international cooperation in the on an organizational level, and looking for more partners to know and to work with in that regard. We're doing some sciences on in situ research to be able to utilize resources on the moon and on Mars. And we do a lot of science experiments with Roscosmos and also with NASA on the analog missions to be able to make sure that we can take humans to live on Mars. So these kind of researches, we try to engage a lot of international partners, and we wanted to make it step by step, but definitely reach there. Maybe we will not be alive to see that happen, but we have to make sure that what we give to the next generation is something useful they can benefit from.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.